Yo, what's good guys, and welcome back to the Beast TV. Like always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are almost at 2,000 subscribers. Let's reach that goal. I appreciate all the support I'm receiving on this channel, so thank you so much guys. Before we start this tutorial on the hi-hats, because a lot of y'all asked me to do a tutorial on these, I want to remember you that I have a Patreon where you can find more than 100 royalty-free samples, and I publish a sample there every week, so it's already a dope sample library. You should check it out. If you're looking to get better at making beats, I'm offering beat reviews, so you can send me your beats and I review them and I tell you what you can do to fix the beat. You can also have access to some of my project files, you can have discounts on all my kits, and you can also have a monthly collab with me. So every month you can send me a sample and we can collab together, and then I publish the beat on Beastar and we can split 50-50 the revenues. I'm also thinking to do some upgrade to the Patreon, so give you more value, because I want to help you to get better at making beats, and this is probably the reason you're watching my videos. Anyways, let's get back to the topic of the video, so the hi-hats. So here I have just a drum pattern without the hi-hats, and we are going to make them together. So I explain you my process when I have to create hi-hats. So let's get into it. So this is the drum pattern without the hi-hats. But let's give it even more bounce with the hi-hats. I think the hi-hats are a super important element because it's the drum element that gives the bounce basically to everything. I mean, I usually start like this. I go on my hi-hats, right click on it, and I click here, fill each 2 steps. So basically I have a 2-step pattern that sounds like this. We can put the velocities all the way up, and then we can like turn down the volume from here. So this is my starting point. I start from here like this, and then I put the grid on 1/3 to make the rolls. So where I'm going to put the rolls? Rolls usually sound good like basically everywhere, but usually sound perfect if you put them like before something. If you put an hi-hat roll before the snare, if you put an hi-hat roll before an 808, before something, it creates a very nice effect. So for example, if I put a roll before the snare here, like this, you know what I'm saying? You can also layer it with a 808, for example, like, I don't know, here the 808 hits, so I can put another row here. And when you put like the hi-hats in other notes, I advise you to remove the notes from the main line, let's call it like that, because if you layer more notes of the hi-hats together, I mean, it will not sound good. Here we can put another roll like that. Hi-hats rolls also sound good at the end of the bars. For example, here, a trick that I always use is like to put a single note and then a roll like that. These are the classic Southside 808 Mafia type of rolls, you know what I'm saying? Here before this snare we can put like a roll like that, so it's different from the rolls we put before. Let's put another one here before the snare. And let's do the trick I told you before here. Or wait, we can like do something like that. If you use the 1/3 grid to make the rolls, you can create this kind of bounce with the hi-hats, you know. If you try to do this roll with like 1/4, it won't sound like that with this bounce. And I usually like copy the first 4 bars, I paste them, and then I change something in the final 2 bars. So here, for example, I have a snare that hits and I put a roll before this other snare. We can close it like this. you can play with all the notes. You can like do the rolls in C and go down with the other notes to create bounce. Low notes always sound good at the end of the pattern, like for example this one. So the pattern I just create sound like this. Very simple, guys. This is nothing crazy. Like I said before, just put a roll before something. Before a snare hit, before a 8-way hit, before a perk hit, before whatever. And it will create this bounce. And in the end of the 4 bar and in the end of the 8 bar, always try to put something different, you know. I usually go down with the semitones in the end of the 4th and the 8th bar. Another thing you can do if you want to play even more with them is with the velocities, because in this case I put the velocities all the way up, but if we play with the velocities we will create some interesting stuff. So for example, if I take this final roll and I made the velocity like this, maybe it sounds better if I put more notes. Let me change the velocity of something else. If you want to randomize the velocities, just select the notes that you want to randomize and press Option R or Alt R on your keyboard, and you can randomize the velocity with this knob. Now it's even more bouncy. So basically this is how I usually make the hi-hats. There isn't just like this kind of pattern. Another cool thing is play with like silence. Let me restart again. Sometimes when you don't put a note, some fire. What I mean is that if I like remove these notes, I remove this one, this one, this one, no wait, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So basically I remove a note in the beginning and in the end every 2 bars. And then from this pattern you can add the rolls like I showed you before. You can even remove more notes if you want. And when you have to decide, for example, where you can remove an highest note. For example, in the beginning we have immediately the 8-way that hits, right? And after the 8-way hit, create this pause. And another one after the snare hits. So basically to make it sound good, you can like remove the highest note immediately after the 8-way hits or the snare hits, for example. So hi-hats, it's all about being creative. I mean, there isn't rules, you know what I'm saying? I'm just explaining you how you can make them sound bouncy, but there isn't rules about it, in my opinion. I mean, just be creative. The last tip I can tell you about hi-hats is to go here in this section and turn up this shift knob. So basically this knob shifts the position of the hi-hats and it will make the hi-hats sound like a little bit of time, and shifting them, they will not sound in the same time of the 808, of the kick, of the snare, whatever. Everything will sound like in a different moment and it will sound better. And also putting the hi-hats a little bit of time, you will create some different bounce because they don't sound perfectly on time, but they are a little bit off the grid. Basically you will create some kind of swing. Anyways guys, that's it. I hope you find this hi-hats tutorial helpful. Let me know in the comments if you learned some new techniques. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like to this video, and see you in the next one, guys.